Hi, good morning. Welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is August 22nd. One of the last things I said to you in yesterday's video was buckle up. I absolutely would not have believed that by the time that video uploaded and I was ready to, release it, Trump would be standing on the White House lawn saying that he was the second coming, king of the Jews, and the chosen one. And in fact, if I had said that to you on a video, you would have thought I was having a psychotic break, which is exactly what I saw a psychiatrist referring to it as last night on Lawrence O'Donnell. We need to figure out what's going on here. So this is the thing. I want you to think about this. And I'm going to use kind of a funny analogy, but it works. When you have a pot of water boiling on the stove, when the first little bubble shows up, that water is technically at boiling. Now, if you were able to leave that water just at exactly that temperature, you could theoretically cook pasta in it. If you had 4 hours to cook the pasta. It is when the pot starts boiling really rapidly and there's lots and lots of bubbles, that's when things get done. It is absolutely the same thing energy-wise, okay? The more focus, the more attention, the faster the pot boils and the more things get done. And to the best of my ability, I understand how crazy what is going on in your country is. I understand to the best of my ability how incredibly unsettling and disturbing it is. And every day becomes more, there's more anxiety. People are more tense. They're more worried because he is becoming more and more erratic. So, take comfort from the fact that the pot is starting to boil rapidly. And what that's going to do is that's going to create an environment where change is going to happen. Do we know exactly what that change looks like? Not right yet. I'm starting to think the guy could actually have a stroke. I think he's so unhinged that between his heart and his brain, I'm not exactly sure he's going to, survive the next 6 months, let alone the next, 14 months till the election. But as this continues, expect, exactly as I said yesterday, expect more. This morning, I saw Paul Ryan's, what's that called? Chief of Staff, on one of the morning shows saying, okay, we've now hit scary. And that's what I said yesterday, that more and more people are going to come out and start saying, okay, you know what? This has gone beyond President Chaos. This has gone into terrifying territory. The more that happens, and it's going to continue to happen, of course, the more erratic he's going to become. Because if there's one thing he can't stand, it's being challenged or not loved. I mean, that's what this whole, Jewish people thing is about. Hang on. Sorry, hi, Jerry was having an issue. Let me try to regain my thought here. What was I saying? Okay, well, I'm just going to go on to a new thought. I apologize. Jerry is a really good distraction. Okay, so, the reason he's so aggravated with Jewish people is because, he thought he did this amazing thing in Israel, and he simply thinks that everybody should just bow down and pay homage to him. It's insane. But we know that pattern. He's been doing it for forever, right? If you are not grateful enough for his small favors, he has to attack you. I also saw this morning that in one of the polls, Trump's approval rating has now dropped into the 30s. That's also good news. But again, the more it happens, the kind of nuttier things are going to be. So today I thought I would just zero in on what the universe wants you to know. Like what it can tell you to sort of help you keep your perspective, stay centered, stay calm in this really, really troubling time. So come on down. I'm going to give one more quick shuffle, and then we'll see what the universe would like to tell us, so that there is some clarity about what the hell is going on. Like, honestly. Okay, here we go. Universe guide us. Universe guide us. Universe guide us. Okay, so interesting. You know, normally the Queen cards are read as a person or a group of women. I'm reading this as actually nurturing the more feminine qualities to help you find sort of center. Maybe I should like get back to, oh no, sorry people, I just sometimes the buttons on my computer really confuse me. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna get focused here. These two cards are talking about literally the feminine qualities. So nurturing, compassion, understanding, comforting. And they're talking about these are the things that you should be doing for yourself, literally. You know, taking those walks that calm you, digging your feet into the sand, sitting in front of a fireplace with candles. Although, oh God, I hope not at this time of the year, except perhaps for the people maybe in the Southern Hemisphere. Watching a movie that makes you laugh hysterically. Eating a piece of cheesecake, you know, whatever it is that can bring you a sense of calm. It's really important because take comfort from the fact that you are not alone. Not only do you have the support of almost every other country on the planet, except for, of course, you know, the ones that Trump is buddy with, like Russia and China, but you also have universal support, because the bottom line here is this horrible sequence of events that had to happen with Trump had to happen in order for things that were broken to get corrected, in order for sort of the stalemates that were going on to be broken so that there could actually be forward motion. So as insane as it feels, this is the actual progression that needs to happen in order to move change along. And don't forget the analogy of the boiling pot. The crazier it gets and the more frightening it gets is a clear indicator that things are changing. Things are finally moving forward. All the things that we hoped and prayed would happen 12 months ago are happening. People are starting to speak out. People are talking about challenging Trump. People are loudly and vocally questioning what the heck is going on with this guy. He's getting pushback everywhere, and it is the pushback that is going to push him to a place where he needs to get out of Dodge. Whether the Republicans just say, listen, buddy, it's time for you to go. Whether he gets challenged, whatever it is, This is part of the pattern. And I know I can hear some of you out there saying, yeah, well, what if he pushes that little red button while he's crazy? He won't. It's not going to happen because there are too many safeguards. I know he has, a final authority, yak. But there would be every reason to believe that he is so mentally unhinged that nobody would actually take the order. They wouldn't listen to him. So set that fear aside. There is absolutely no indication energetically that that could be a possibility. So it's horrifying. It's scary. It's sad. I get it. I do. I get it. But you have literally the hand of God watching over that which is material, the planet, your safeguards. That which needs to be protected is literally being protected, and you are being asked to not focus on that which is scary and negative, but to turn around and walk into an environment that is nurturing, that is calm, so that that's the energy you are sending out, and that's the energy you are living with, because that is going to be exactly what helps you and us get through these crazy, crazy difficult times. Okay, a change of perspective is coming, and you're going to see Republicans more and more slowly starting to pull away from him, slowly starting to speak out, perhaps not as loudly or as critically as we would like, but they're going to start. The Republicans, interestingly enough, are actually starting to plant the seeds, and this is way behind the scenes, so we don't hear about it or know about it, of trying to mount a challenger to him. Like somebody significant enough that they could actually win. They could draw back the Republicans and independents who are sort of currently siding with the Democrats, draw them back into the Republican fold so that they can continue to hold power. So on that note, it's of course really important that the Democrats fire up their energy even more, because you don't want the Republicans in power, irregardless of who is president, who is a Republican president, because in order to start correcting some of this stuff, you're going to need Democratic majorities everywhere, the House, the Senate, and of course in the White House, because otherwise it's going to end up in this continual stalemate where you can't maneuver. Stay calm, stay centered. He is going to undergo a rather dramatic change of fortune. Sort of like significant enough that he really, really is not sure that he can hang on to his base. And more importantly, he's not sure. He can't figure out the angle, right? He's like the ultimate con man. So if there isn't an angle in it for him, he's like not so interested. And at some point, he's going to say, you know what? This is a game that I'm losing. The house is not winning. I need to figure out how to get out. And will the need to get out and protect himself be greater than the worry about getting caught up with, the New York offices and, legal charges? It actually very well might. Because remember, Trump is under the illusion, and it only is an illusion, but boy, oh boy, does he ever believe it, that he always wins legal battles. Now, we all know he doesn't, but he thinks he does. And we should encourage him to keep on thinking that, because that's going to encourage him to get his butt out of the White House, because he's actually delusional enough. He thinks that either one, he won't be touched, or two, if he is, he can just bully his way through and win. So, good luck with that, Donald. There are decisions being made. Make no mistake, it might not feel like it. You might not see it right now, but take comfort from the fact that decisions are being made. And they're serious and they're weighty and they're being made. I can see the 4 leaders, the two Republican leaders and the two Democratic leaders, talking. I'm not saying that they're in cahoots or they're working collaboratively, but what I am saying is there are conversations going on where the Democrats are saying to the Republicans, how much longer? Enough is enough. This guy, for God's sakes, he thinks he is king of the Jews. Get him out of office. What are you going to do about this? Because again, there needs to be bipartisan work on this, because otherwise you're going to get it through the House, but you're not going to be able to get it through the Senate. So there has to be some collaboration, and it's starting to look to me like there actually is some collaboration in terms of actually securing and safeguarding the White House. You know, because there's a difference. I mean, any Republican who hopes to actually survive this situation, he recognizes that there are burdens that are simply too heavy to carry. They are not going to be able to survive this, because as he continues in literally what can only be described as some sort of a psychiatric emergency, they're going to realize that even they can't justify it. They can't hold the line, which is part of the reason more and more of them are going to start speaking out. But I definitely see some collaboration going on there, trying to create an environment where they can sort of structure things in a different way than they are structured now in terms of the power centers. Yeah, again, okay, here we go. The shining light. They're looking at things from a new perspective. They're looking at how to walk this path. They're coming out of the quiet, and they're starting to get louder and louder. And again, like yesterday, I read this literally as a death card. Not necessarily a physical death, but definitely a death of Trump in the White House, Trump as president, Trump having power. So something's going on behind the scenes. I can't tell you what it is. I'm frankly grateful for the information I'm getting about this, but something is going on, and it looks like there's going to be some changes in the works. Again, don't expect a big boom. It's going to be more subtle than that. It's going to be more incremental than that, because again, that also makes sense, right? The slower the drip, the slower the attacks, slow and continual. That is going to be what sends him right over the edge. And again, I repeat, there is nothing to indicate that he would actually be successful at pushing that little red button. Okay, I don't see it happening. Yeah, even the people, the Mitch McConnells, the Lindsey Grahams, the people who are on the take from your adversaries, even they are having a hard time defending it. And some of them are actually starting to say, you know what? We got to bring this guy to ground, because if everything keeps getting investigated, we are in more and more of a precarious situation, because if they pull the right strings, not only are they going to bring him down, but they're going to bring us down. So again, it becomes a matter of self-preservation, right? They don't want to fall. They just want him to. And they're starting to understand that when he falls, there's a really good chance of them falling. Okay, now, we know that probably doesn't matter what they actually do, they're going to fall anyways. But again, that's one of those things that we just don't need to tell them about. Let them continue on their fool's journey, thinking that they are powerful and they can handle this. Because when they fall, higher they climb, the harder they fall. Okay? Remember that phrase. The world is stepping in to protect you. Kind of think of it as NATO on steroids, okay? Countries quietly behind the scenes are maneuvering in such a way so that they can offer the most protection they can. And of course, it's interesting that the G7 is coming up in very short order. And of course, those strong countries who are part of the G7 have the most interest in keeping things legal, keeping things sane, returning power to a rightful place, returning it to something that falls within the category of normal. Interesting, again, the G7 is going to be pivotal. We're not going to see it. It's going to be going on behind the scenes. But there are going to be talks and communications between other countries, strategizing and figuring things out. And, of course, it's not surprising at all that Trump is standing on his damn soapbox, screaming up and down how it should be a G8 because Russia belongs in the mix. Well, Russia doesn't belong in the mix. It is not financially strong enough to even be invited to the cocktail hour, never mind the damn dinner, okay? But again, be that as it may, trust that other countries are moving in to try to create their own rails, their own safeguards, to keep things stabilized as best as they can for the United States and the people of the United States. Because again, unless you're Trump and Putin, you understand that we are now a village. The whole globe is a village. We either work together or we fall together. So people and countries are moving into place to kind of keep those discs spinning, keep things moving the way they need to be to sort of create as much stability as can be created. The universe would also like to reassure you two things. One, karma is real. Karma happens. And these days, karma is returning faster and faster. It used to be that it took lifetimes for you to kind of reap the karma of an experience or an existence. Nowadays, it seems like very often karma returns to you not only within the lifetime, but very often within even a decade, a year, 6 months. The periods are shrinking. So rest assured that those people who need to learn the lessons karma will teach them, they will, in fact, learn the lesson. And the other thing to keep in mind, again, is that Trump is delusional enough at this point that he actually really thinks that his money can prevent him from any sort of incarceration or any sort of significant penalty. And this card, I'm reading as the scales of justice, okay? He's not going to be able to escape them. He's just not. The end is going to come, okay? This insanity, this craziness, this presidency is going to come to an end. And the way to get from here, is from here, okay? It is to stay in a place where you are positive, where you are calm, and where you are not letting your anxiety create more negative energy, more toxic energy, more chaotic energy. Calm, pray, meditate, go for walks, laugh with little kids, go see a funny movie. And if you're like me, go have a piece of cheesecake. It always helps. Okay? So, I hope that this is helpful. I hope you find some comfort in it and some reassurance in it, because that, of course, is always my intention. I'm almost scared to say buckle up. I really am. I just am. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Things are going to continue to get chaotic, but instead of the chaos frightening you, literally look at it as another sign that it's falling apart, it's crumbling, and that's what has to happen. And it will happen in a way that is safe. Maybe not pleasant, but you'll be safe. So for now, take care. Be well. We'll see you soon. Bye.